chat. Let's keep going with this climate change bit for just a sec. Now I want to make a larger point about this climate change. So, like usual, right? I'm not really a micro guy. I'm more of like a macro guy. I kind of see what they're telling you, kind of look into the details here and there. But I think you can get a very definitive picture in many cases just based on what the media is reporting and what the government is kind of echoing, right? Because they definitely work together. And I think by watching it close enough, in many ways, you can kind of tell what they want you to believe, right, through these lies. So anyway, just real fast, just going to burn through this climate change article real quick. I'm going to put it back up there. Thanks again for the call, Axel. You're the man. Very good stuff. All right, so there is the thing here. Okay, so now let's just burn through this and get to the conclusion of this, and I can get to the goods. So okay, making it stop. Now this is so of course they have to go through and they have to tell you all the scary stuff, right? Because they and then they bury the headline, they bury the lead, right? Here it is. So many scientists say global warming could stop relatively quickly after emissions. About the California wildfires. Every time they happen, they say, oh, it's unprecedented. We've never burned this much of California down in one season. And then you go look at the numbers and yeah, they have quite a lot. And it's not even close to like unprecedented. So, but then they get to blame it on global warming, right? Or climate change now is the term. Anyway, this continues. There is less warming in the pipeline than we thought, said Imperial College climate scientist Jory Rojeji, a lead author of the next major climate assessment from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Quote, it is our best understanding that if we bring down CO2 to net zero, the warming will level off. The climate will stabilize within a decade or two, he said. There will be very little to no additional warming. Our best estimate is zero. The widespread idea that decades or even centuries of additional warming are already baked into the system, as suggested by previous IPCC reports, were based on an unfortunate this is the best part. Now, okay, I'm going to read this slowly. The widespread idea that decades or even centuries of additional warming are already baked into the system, as suggested by previous IPCC reports, were based on an unfortunate misunderstanding of experiments done with climate models that never assumed zero emissions. What happened? Did they take us down? Did they take us down? What happened? They took us down. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to leave this up for just a sec because I want to make sure it's clear here. So yeah, are we back? Are we back? What happened? They got us, Mike. What happened? That's funny. Okay, I'm going to allow that message. All right. Okay, let's see. Lots of good chat. I guess we're back. I said too much, says Believe, but yeah, maybe. We're back. All right. Okay, we're back. All right, hit the refresh. I'm going to read this one last time because this is critically important. If they took us offline because of this, fine. It's critical that you hear this. The widespread data, we're talking about climate change here, the widespread idea that decades or even centuries of additional warming are already baked into the system, as suggested by previous IPCC reports, were based on an quote, unfortunate misunderstanding of experiments done with climate models that never assumed zero emissions. All right, so even assuming, close to zero emissions, emissions, not admissions, emissions, close to zero, then we should be good, right? I mean, So again, so this doesn't fit the climate alarmist narratives. Okay, now I just want to point out just a few things as we continue through this. Now, this one is from the web archive from March 20th, 2000. All right, check this out. Now, it's not the first time we've been taken off the internet for something we said, guys. So I'm not tripping. It's whatever. All right. So anyway, here we go. This is now snowfalls are now just a thing of the past. And this is Monday, March 20th, the year 2000, 20 years ago. All right. Let me read some of this from the year 2000. And this is exactly why people don't trust the data we're given to work with, because it's all spun and full of lies. And sure, maybe there's truth to this, but holy shit, how do you expect us to take all of the data that's all contradictory with all the political narratives baked into them, and then all the lies on top of that, and then the talking heads on TV, and then the government information. It's all dumb. It's dumb. And then a conspiracy theory pops out about global warming or climate change being a way to bring in socialism, Marxism, and then it's a conspiracy theory, right? I don't know. Well, why do you keep lying about it? That's what I want to know first. So anyway, here we go. From March 2000. Global warming, the heating of the atmosphere by increased amounts of industrial gases, is now accepted as a reality by the international community. Average temperatures in Britain were nearly 0.6 degrees Celsius higher in the 90s than in 1960 to 1990, and it is estimated that they will increase by 0.2 Celsius every decade over the coming century. 8 of the 10 hottest years on record occurred in the 90s. All right, this continues. Now, again, this is from March of 2000. However, the warming is so far manifesting itself more in winters, which are less cold than in much hotter summers, according to Dr. David Viner, a senior research scientist at the Climatic Research Unit, the CRU, at the University of East Anglia. Within a few years, winter snowfall will become a very rare and exciting event. Now, right here it says, now again, from March 2000, guys, children just aren't going to know what snow is, he said. All right? Right? Children just aren't going to know what snow is. And these are from people with presumably PhDs. And they work, exclusively, or at least in part or in large part, in climate science. And we're getting statements like this. Children just aren't going to know what snow is, all right? And again, so you read a little bit more of this. Now, the effects of snow-free winter in Britain are already becoming apparent. This year, for the first time ever, Hamleys, Britain's biggest toy shop, had no sledges on display in its Regent Street store. It was a bit of a first, a spokesperson said. Fen skating, once a popular sport on the fields of East Anglia, now takes place on indoor artificial rinks. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, blah, blah. All right, so let's just jump to this one real fast. This is, let's see, as regarding UK snowfall. Let's go to today. This was 20 years ago. All right. Now here we go. Since snow is going to become a thing of the past, let's look at the news from today. This is from theexpress.co.uk. UK snow forecast. 25 inches of heavy snow to blanket UK in hours as polar bomb strikes. This is today. Yesterday. January 1st, 2021. So you get the point, right? You get the point. So in in the year 2000, 20 years ago, they said snow is now a thing of the past. 20 years later, 25 inches of heavy snow to blanket the UK hours. And, I understand both are exaggerational OMG type of situations with reporting and science and clickbait but you get what I'm saying. So now if you go back further, another one, actually, not further to the year 2000. Let's go to the year 2013. And here's another one from the Sierra Club Canada. This is, again, so we're looking at web archives. These are no longer up, of course. You have to go back into the Wayback Machine and look at the archives of these because they've been taken down. Why have they been taken down? Because they're bad predictions. Just like in Eschaton, if you're a preacher out there throwing holy water on everybody, telling people about the end of the world, and you miss, you're like, oh, shit, the end was supposed to happen on Friday, and it didn't happen, right? Well, of course, you change the story. Right? You're like, oh, my calculations were off. We didn't take into account Nibiru coming into the solar system. Whatever, right? Anyway, so from the Sierra Club Canada, written by an individual named Paul Beckwith, March 23rd, 2013. For the record, I do not think that any sea ice will survive this summer. An event unprecedented in human history is today, this very moment, transpiring in the Arctic Ocean. The cracks in the sea ice that are reported in my Sierra blog and elsewhere have spread. Worse news is at this very moment, the entire sea ice sheet, or about 99% of it covering the Arctic Ocean, is on the move. And we think weakened ice cap has literally begun to tear apart. This is an abrupt climate change in real time. All right, this is from 2013. Why Arctic sea ice will vanish in 2013. You get the point. Has anybody seen anything recent regarding our Arctic sea ice vanishing? It's 2020. Just saying. Okay, again, and I'm not. Listen to me. Please listen to me. I'm not refuting that any of these things are not real. Okay, that's what's going on here. What happened? I guess we got the phone line got taken down too. Shit. All right, let's dial this back in. Okay, so all right. So the thing is this. I just want to make clear that because I'm being a critic of these things, it doesn't mean I'm saying they are not real. I'm saying that the information we get, and it's contradictory, and the alarmism and all the dumb stuff that they say, just like the Fauci example from earlier, how they lie to us to get us to do what they want us to do, not because it's the truth, but because they think it's the best way to make us do something that's in our own best interest, which of course we wouldn't be able to do that ourselves with the truth. So they have to lie to us. So you understand? It's the same thing as the Fauci thing and the masks and the whole bit and the herd immunity. It's the exact same argument. Okay? So just tell us the truth. But of course, the truth wouldn't spur people to have a mental health crisis like poor Greta, right? We did an article a couple days ago talking about children and how they're actually having mental health crisis from crises from this. They go to school and every day they're told the world is ending if we don't do something right now. The world is ending if we don't do something right now. Hey, did you hear me? The world is ending if we don't do something right now. You understand? Like it is so wrong to do this to children, and this is what we're doing. And again, why? Who's lying? Why are they lying? What are we covering up? And again, just trust us with the real information. Okay? Anyway, just want to make it clear. We're not, a conspiracy theory doesn't mean you believe that in all the conspiracies, okay? It doesn't mean that. It means that there is a conspiracy in everything. No, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. This is important to get right. Don't fuck this up, Mike. It means that conspiracies are everywhere, and that is true. But it does not mean that everything is a conspiracy. And that's an incredibly important distinction to make, okay? So I just want to point that out. They're everywhere, but that doesn't mean everything's a conspiracy, all right? So it falls on us as concerned citizens of the world to be able to differentiate these things, to actually parse the data and ask the questions, and that's what we're here to do.